Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everybody, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dhammapariyesanā episodes number 12, which is a part of Abhidhamma for daily life, in the last couple of weeks. Last week we talked about ahetuka chittas, rootless consciousness, the chittas that do not have a root, no lobha, no dosa, no moha, no alobha, no adosa, no amoha. That was what we discussed last Wednesday. And a week before, we talked about 12 akusala chittas, which means chittas that associate akusala roots like lobha, dosa, moha. So in today's talk, I will be discussing Kāmā Sobhaṇa chittas, the opposite of akusala chittas, which means beautiful consciousness. There are 24 beautiful consciousness, states of beautiful consciousness, chittas. Now, one may wonder, this is something that I get asked sometimes by, different individuals, that how come in a world of suffering, how come there's a beautiful chitta? A very good question. Now, we know suffering is mental. So if you can use wisdom, especially these beautiful consciousness, then you are into wisdom. In every event, in every phenomenon situation, when you are dealing with any type of situation, event, what you are going to do is that you are going to be wise. You're going to use anicca, dukkha, anatta, sunyata perspective, towards those phenomena, so that your mind is brilliant, your mind is beautiful. Suffering is mental. Oftentimes, suffering is mental. It's not physical compared to mental. So suffering is mostly mental. So I think we all try, to deal with mental suffering more than physical suffering. So in the discussion of beautiful consciousness, which is called Kāmā Sobhaṇa, what we have to understand is that if you can bring your chittas towards Kāmā Sobhaṇa, you are less likely to experience from mental suffering. So that's what I want to say at the beginning before we get into Kāmā Sobhaṇas. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get into the slides. Okay, beautiful consciousness, Kāmā Sobhaṇa. Now, you also know that we talked about a breakdown of all the chittas, especially these 89 chittas or 121 chittas. Out of 89 chittas, let me tell you, out of 89 chittas, 59 chittas are experienced by Kāmāvachara people, people like in the human world, heavens, and 4 apayas, and 15 chittas out of that number, out of 89, experienced by Rupavachara individuals, noble people, and 12 out of that experienced by Arupavachara individuals, and 8 out of 89 chittas experienced by Lokottara, noble individuals. So there is another teaching which adds another 40, which makes up Lokottara chittas to be 40, so that each chitta in the Lokottara set. I mean, there are normally 8 Lokottara chittas, but they are multiplied by 5. So that 8. So then what happens is that 8 multiplied by 5, it's going to be 40, in that second analysis. So then it will be 121 chittas. So Kāmā Sobhaṇa comes under Kāmāvachara chittas. So in the Kāmāvachara set of chittas, they are the most beautiful one. They are the beautiful chittas. They are the ones that we want to try to make in us. So there are 8 sets, 3 8 sets. So let's take a look at of these chittas. Kāmā Sobhaṇa chittas, all chittas with wholesome roots. So they always make up alobha, adosa, amoha. So the chittas we talked about in the previous discussions, they are 2 akusalas and 18 ahetukas. They are not part of beautiful consciousness, we call Kāmā Sobhaṇa. They are part of actually we have a sort of classification by naming the akusala, 12 akusala and 18 ahetuka to be asobhaṇa chittas, non-beautiful consciousness. So normally there are a couple beautiful consciousness types. One of them is beautiful consciousness 24 chittas, and rupavachara, arupavachara, and lokottara chittas. They are sobhanas, which is called beautiful consciousness, because they are higher than, they are better than the asobhana. So Kāmā asobhana, I would say asobhana chittas, they are 12 akusalas and 18 ahetukas, which we discussed last few weeks. Okay. In the analysis of chittas, there is a classification of sobhaṇa, beautiful, and asobhaṇa, non-beautiful, which is what I just shared with you. Sobhaṇa includes Kāmā Sobhaṇa, which means the 24 chittas we will be discussing today. Rupavachara, there are 15 Rupavachara chittas. Arupavachara, there are 12 Arupavachara chittas. And Lokottara chittas, 8 or here you can see it's 8 or 40 chittas. So 59 out of 89 chittas, they are what we call sobhanas, beautiful ones, and 99 out of 121 in that second analysis, 91 chittas is going to be sobhana in that analysis. So basically there are either 59 beautiful thoughts or 91 beautiful thoughts. So basically they are sobhanas, beautiful. They are beautiful, chittas. Beautiful in the sense of, better chittas compared to this asobhaṇa part. Asobhaṇa includes 12 akusala chittas and 18 ahetuka chittas. So asobhaṇa means non-beautiful. There are 12 akusala chittas and 18 ahetuka chittas, which comprise of asobhaṇa chittas. Sobhaṇa chittas are only accompanied by beautiful mental factors. Now, I want to say that the next, discussion that I will be doing, in the, from next week, they will be discussing. They will be mostly on chaitasikas. So we can take a look at of what kind of chaitasikas, I mean mental factors, we can see in the Abhidhamma. So there are beautiful chaitasikas and non-beautiful chaitasikas too, just as in the chittas, because chittas cannot arise without chaitasikas, right? Now all these 89 chittas, they can arise without chaitasikas. That's why chaitasika is a big part of this chitta conversation too. Okay. So, sobhaṇa chittas, that means the chittas we are talking today, they are only accompanied by beautiful mental factors. I would say the good side, good chaitasikas, beautiful chaitasikas. What are they? Alobha, rather than rather saying alobha to be non-greed, adosa to be non-hatred, amoha to be non-delusion, I put it this way. Alobha means generosity. It is nothing but generosity, giving. Adosa is loving kindness, and amoha means wisdom. So these are the only chetasikas that associate Sobhaṇa chittas. It's 24 Sobhaṇa chittas. Okay, classification now, Kāmā Sobhaṇa chittas, because we know there are 24 Kāmā Sobhaṇa chittas. Let's see a breakdown of these chittas. Okay, the first part is wholesome part, So wholesome. We call it Maha Kusala chittas. Now, not just Kusala chittas, Maha, great, Maha Kusala chittas. So there are 8 wholesome chittas. Okay, so and then there are 8 Vipaka chittas, right? Resultant chittas. So these are mostly the Vipakas of these Kusalas. Okay, so it's now I want to tell you, you might perhaps be puzzled in, we talked about another set of Vipaka chittas last week. We will be talking the difference between these Vipaka chittas and those Ahetuka Vipaka chittas, in a future slide. There are 8 Vipaka chittas. They are mainly Vipakas of these Kusalas. Mahakiriya chittas, functional, which does not produce any karmas. Mostly we know they are, relevant to arahants, right? Maha, there are 8 kiriya chittas. So basically, Kāmā Sobhaṇa, the beautiful consciousness, beautiful chittas include 8 kusala chittas, 8 vipaka chittas, and 8 kiriya chittas. We call it not just kusala chittas, but maha kusala chittas, not just vipaka chittas, but maha vipaka chittas, not just kiriya chittas, but maha kiriya chittas. Now we will be taking a look at the contents of Mahakusala chittas. Now we can see there are 8 Mahakusala chittas, but I want to tell you that you don't need to worry about these numbers and also these aspects of memorization all the time, but I will tell you something to think about. Now, in all the 3 sets of beautiful consciousness, I would say Kāmā Sobhaṇa chittas, only this part is change. Can you see that? Let's see here. Only this part, Maha Kusala, only this part is change. Now, if I tell you how it will be changed, now here Maha Kusala, Maha Kusala, Maha Kusala, and in the Mahavipaka one, Mahavipaka, Mahavipaka, Mahavipaka. In the Kiriya, Mahakiriya, Mahakiriya, Mahakiriya. So the rest is same. The rest is same. But now we will have to understand what is this rest. Okay. Somanassa Sahagata, Jnana Sampayutta, Asankarika, and Mahakusala Chitta. Now we know the translation of this thought chitta means one consciousness. Let's take this first one. One consciousness accompanied by joy. That is Somanassa Sahagata. Accompanied by joy. Jnana Sampayutta, that means associated with knowledge. Now, could you remember we talked about Jnana Vipayutta? Jnana Sampayutta, Jnana Vipayutta in the Akusala Chittas. There we talked about Jnana Sampayutta means, somebody who is with this moha, right? But in here, Jnana Sampayutta means Panya. So somebody who has a consciousness with Panya. Basically Panya. I will be discussing that in a future slide. Asankarika means unprompted. Nobody is helping him to do that, her to do that. So the first chitta is one consciousness accompanied by joy, Somanassa Sahagata, associated with Panya, unprompted. Now how can we understand the rest of the chittas? Now there are 4 chittas accompanied by joy, right? See, Somanasa Sahagata. There are 4 set of chittas. The first 4 Mahakusala chittas are accompanied by joy. But in here, there's a difference. The first 2, in the first 2, we can see panya. But in the third and the fourth chittas, we can see not panya. But this doesn't mean that there is moha, because in the Mahakusala chittas you don't get moha. This simply means you won't have panya, but you still do it without panya, right? Mostly it is kind of something like this. You know that this is a good thing, but sometimes you don't know this is a good thing, but you still do it. And here Sankarika, Sankarika. So basically, there are 4 Mahakusala chittas that are accompanied by joy. There are 2 chittas associated with panya, and 2 without panya. When we come to chittas from 5 to 8, you can see these 4 chittas. They are accompanied by a neutral feeling. I would say equanimity, but equanimity is not that lofty equanimity that we know in the for Brahma Viharas. But this is what we call neutral feeling. You are not happy, but still you are gonna do the good deed. But you are kind of neutral. You are not happy, but you are still doing it. It's like a neutral moment that you are doing it. And here too, we can see Jnana Sampita. There are 2 Jnana Sampittas, there are 2 Jnana Viparita. That means somebody is having a consciousness accompanied by neutral feelings, these 4 neutral feelings, and when it comes to this point, with panya, but with a neutral feeling. But here without panya, with a neutral feeling. And here asankarika means without being prompted, unprompted. Sasankarika means being prompted. Somebody is helping you. So what you need to understand here, folks, is that you need to understand Mahakusala chittas. These great Kusala chittas arise at 8 events. In 8 events. In 4 events, you will be happy. In 4 events, you will be neutral. In 4 events, I would say in 4 events, you will be with panya. In 4 events, you will be without panya. In 4 events, you will be doing that kusala chitta with panya. In 4 events, you will be doing it without panya. So these are the 4 events with panya. Jnana Sampayutta for Somanasa, Jnana Sampayutta for Upekka. Jnana Vipayutta for Somanasa, Jnana Vipayutta for Upekka. And in 4 events, you will be doing just on your own. I would say you do mostly good events on your own, but I would say you are not prompted. You are just doing the way that you want. But in 4 events, you will be prompted by other people. Sasankarika. Here, 2 Sasankarika with regard to the Somanasa part, and 2 Sasankarika with regard to the Upekka part. And the questions will be, replied. Some of the questions that arise out of these will be discussed in the future slides. Okay, summary. Mahakusala chittas. Mahakusala chittas only arise in wordlings, putujjana. Okay, so you understand that these Mahakusala chittas arise in the putujjana, like in our minds. Who else experiencing Mahakusala chittas? Not even the putujjanas. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, pretty much everybody who is part of sekas, trainees. Now, Dhamma friends, who are sekas? There are 2 ways we understand the people in regard to Nibbana. The first part is seka. The second part is, or the first category of people, they are called sekas. The second category of people we call asekas. Now, seekers simply means those of them who are still on the journey to Nibbana. Even the Anagami person is called as a seeker. But those who already finish their spiritual journey by attaining Nibbana, they are called asekers. They are not trainees. They are not trainees. So we are trainees. So Mahakusala chittas arise in the Putujjana like us, and people and also Sotapanna, Anagami, Sakadagami, Anagami, in those people too. So Mahakusala chittas arise in Putujjanas, Sotapannas, Sakadagamis, Anagamis. Pretty much those of them who are seekers, not asekers. Seekers means who are still trainees in terms of Nibbana. The 4 Mahakusala chittas associated with Panya. Remember what they are? The 4 Mahakusala chittas associated with Panya have each of the 3 Kusala hetus, Alobha, Adosa, and Amoha, while those 4 which don't have Panya have just 2 hetus, Alobha, Adosa only. What are they? Let's take a look. Let's go back. The 4 Mahakusala chittas associated with Panya, which means all the Ditti Sampayutta chittas, they have all the 3 Kusala hetus, roots. In this way, you can see Jnana Sampayutta. There are 2 Jnana Sampayuttas here. There are 2 Jnana Sampayuttas here. Now, it refers to these 4. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 1, number 2, number 5, number 6. So they are the chittas which have Panya. So in these chittas, Alobha, Adosa, Amoha, those 3 chetasikas are all always involved because they are chetasikas, right? Alobha, Adosa, Amoha, chetasikas are always involved in number 1, number 2, number 5, number 6, because they are called Jnana Sampayutta, right? Jnana Sampayutta. Okay? But in the other chittas, number 3, number 4, Jnana Vipeta, number 7, number 8, Jnana Vipeta, only 2 hetus, 2 roots are involved. 2 beautiful roots are involved. What are they? Alobha and Adosa only, not Amoha, right? Because Amoha means Panya. So in the first 2 chittas and number 5, number 6, the whole 3 chittas, the whole 3 beautiful chetasikas which you call Alobha, Adosa, Amoha are associated or involved. And in the chittas called number 3, number 4, number 7, number 8, only Alobha, Adosa involved in those 4 chittas. So Panya only involves in the 4 chittas, and the rest of the chittas are only involved with Alobha and Adosa. That's what we talk about here. The 4 Mahakusala chittas associated with Panya have each of the 3 Kusala hetus, Alobha, Adosa, and Amoha, while those 4 which don't have Panya have just 2 hetus, Alobha and Adosa only. Kusala chittas are designated Mahakusala not on the grounds that they are the highest Kusala chittas, but since they should be possible by numerous individuals in the Kāmā world. Now, one may wonder why these why the Kusala chittas were given Maha. Is it because they are the highest kind of chittas? No. It was given this Maha kind of title before Kusala because these chittas are the chittas many people in the universe are experiencing, because we know Kāmā worlds, 4 hells, human world, and the heavens, they make up most of the 31 planes when you compare to Rupavachara, realms. So that's why it was given Maha. According to Abhidhamma, we are Putujjanas, wordlings, scarcely comprehend the chittas, though the noble individuals who as of now have Rupavachara and higher chittas, Rupavachara, Arupavachara, Lokottara, can comprehend the chittas going full speed ahead. Rupavachara, Arupavachara, and Lokottara chittas are higher than the Kāmāvachara chittas in light of this explanation. Dhamma friends, what does it mean? Let me tell you. Now, we have 54 Kāmāvachara thoughts, chittas in the Abhidhamma, right? Which we will be discussing since a couple of weeks. To Abhidhamma, it says that Kāmāvachara chittas are really, important to Kāmāvachara beings, but Kāmāvachara beings do not perceive, comprehend Kāmāvachara chittas just, compared to Rupavachara, Arupavachara, Lokottara beings comprehend the chittas. Let's say we scarcely comprehend our chittas. That's why our mind is always into sensual things, right? Because we are not taking a lot of time. We are not taking, relevant amount of, attention. We are not giving, adequate attention to chittas because we are always carried out by karmas. But when you take a look at our Rupavachara, Arupavachara, and Lokottara beings, they comprehend every chitta in full swing, completely. That's why their minds are not, their chittas are not swayed, their chittas are not shaken. That's really interesting, okay? So we can also say Rupavachara, Arupavachara, Lokottara chittas are higher than the Kāmāvachara chittas based on this teaching, which means we only comprehend our chittas very, scarcely. We only understand our chittas a little, but Rupavachara, Arupavachara, Lokottara beings, they understand, they comprehend their chittas, completely, what their chittas are and how they work, and how can they stay in their samadhis. Okay, then we're going to talk about Cetana, because Cetana, volition, that is volition, intention, this really affects, the way how we continue, how we start our Mahakusala chittas, or how we prepare us into Mahakusala chittas, and how we take us into the particular good karma with a Mahakusala chitta, and how long we're going to carry us, and how we're going to finish it. So that's why this Cetana part, intention part, is very important in terms of Mahakusala chittas. Cetana, or I would say intention or volition, which is one of the Cetasikas, it is also called Cetasikas, change the course of each Kusala chitta. Right? Let's take a look at how it happens in the paragraph. Contingent upon the variety of Cetana, the nature of Kusala chitta can be unique. Example, Cetana for not killing, Cetana for not taking what's not given, Cetana for not misbehaving, Cetana for not lying, Cetana for not talking behind the back, Cetana for talking charming or pleasant words, Cetana for not idle chatting and gossiping, Cetana for not being covetous, Cetana for not having ill will, Cetana for holding wholesome view. Now, these are the main kusala kammas we engage with on a daily basis. Sometimes a kusala cetana can be exceptionally solid, and later it tends to be weak. A kusala chitta finished with solid cetana brings the best of kusala vipaka, and the weak cetana, not really. Dhamma friends, I will tell you how that happens. Let's say I'm going to do a dana. Let's say you all do dana, right? You give dana for monks and people who are really in need of. Let's say I try myself to be in one of the Mahakusala chittas, and then, but depending on the effect situation, because other people who are in the ceremony, who are with us, and depending on the food that I'm gonna make, or how I'm gonna make, how I'm gonna buy, how I'm gonna make, and depending on the places where I'm gonna offer that, there could be some outcomes, I would say effects. So based on the effects, I may be able to change my Mahakusala Chitta. So let's say I have a solid Mahakusala Chitta at the beginning, but then because of the other bad people, because of the other bad events, because of me being bad in not understanding what's going on, my Kusala Chitta will be weak. That's why Chetana impacts Mahakusala Chittas. Even though you have Mahakusala Chitta at the beginning of Dana, but it does not guarantee you will be continuing with the same Mahakusala Chitta. That's why you have to be very careful. Don't get bogged down by people around you for the good thing, and don't get change because of unnecessary effects. You are trying to be in the solid Mahakusala Chitta. Otherwise, it will be weak, and then it won't, it won't create the most out of it. Okay. That's what it says here. Chetana affects the cause of your Mahakusala Chittas. Try to make it solid without letting it be affected by weak or weaker effects. So effects from outside. There are three concomitant factors, as we found in the Akusala Chittas. For example, feeling either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, presence of absence of knowledge, and third, the motivation, whether it is prompted or unprompted. Now, you can also notice, as we know in the Akusala Chittas, we could see there was this feeling either pleasant or unpleasant, which we call, actually, it is not domanasa, because we saw unpleasant in Akusala, domanas, under dosa molika chitta, akusala dosa molika chitta. But basically, we can see pleasant, unpleasant, neutral type of feelings with chittas, throughout the chittas. So in here, Mahakusala Chittas, we only see pleasant and neutral. And also we saw presence of or absence of knowledge. I mean, presence of panya or absence of panya. What you call jnana sampayutta, jnana vipayutta. In the Akusala Chitta, we talked about ditthigata sampayutta, ditthigata vipayutta. But it's not panya, it's moha at that point in Akusala. And also the motivation factor, whether it is prompted or unprompted. Yes, we saw it in here too. Sasankarika, asankarika. Sasankarika means prompted, asankarika means unprompted. Here, this is something interesting. Here, jnana sampayutta is higher than jnana vipayutta. Jnana sampayutta implies or means knowledge with regards to whether one considers things to be there, yatha sabhavang. However, jnana, especially in this setting, implies the chetasika called panya. This is what I told you. Jnana sampayutta simply means panya. In panya, you are trying to see things as they are. True vipassana perspective, right? Because vipassana is the technique that you will attain wise. You will become wise, which as such we recognize as against a moha or non-delusion. So when you have panya, jnana sampayutta, you won't have moha. But be careful. But the opposite, jnana vipayutta, doesn't mean moha, which is akusala. So let me go back. So these ones, jnana vipayutta, there are two jnana vipayuttas regarding somanasa, two jnana vipayuttas regarding upekka. They are not reflective of moha. They are just meant to be somebody who is doing a good karma without panya. Let me tell you how it happens. Let's say someone is doing a good karma. By knowing this good karma helps me to attain nibbana. That is jnana sampayutta. But there is somebody who is doing the same good karma without knowing this will help me achieve nibbana. There's a difference, right? because there is one person. There's A is doing the same good deed, good karma. By knowing this good karma will certainly help me overcome my defilements, and so that I will be into Nibbana. B person who is doing the same good karma with the same things, but in his or her mind, she doesn't know this is Panya. Oh, this is what helps me to attain Nibbana. So that's Jnana Vipayutta. Can you see moha in that? No, there's no moha in that. It is just without Panya. Let's go back. There are hardly any reasons regarding how one makes a kusala chitta without being prompted. This is about sasankarika. Dhamma friends, why some people are able to make or have mahakusala chittas without being prompted? What made them to be so? There could be different reasons. Physical and mental wellness. Health is a big thing, folks. Because if you are not healthy, you need to get motivated by other people. You might need to be motivated by other people. But if you are healthy, you know that this is good, I'm going to make it. Great food and atmosphere. Food helps, because when you eat the relevant healthy food, it affects you, right? Let's say you are eating healthy food, then what happens? Your mind is healthy. You are not eating unhealthy food. So this healthy mind helps you to operate without the assistance of others, especially for the good things, right? But if you eat unhealthy food, junk food all the time, you eat something, but your mind is not also healthy, right? And you will be prone to a lot of diseases too, sicknesses too. So when you eat healthy food, that will help your organs, your body to directly get into good things and to execute without the help of other people. And also atmosphere. If you are living in a country where there are a lot of fights, wars, problems, hatred, prejudices are going on, that could be a difficult thing. So you need to get sort of help from somebody who can really help you. Because I know there could be some people who could do it even under those circumstances. But if you are living in a place where there are a lot of issues, that would be a problem for you to operate yourself into good things. You may need other people's help. But if you are living in a country where you see this help and where you see that there are no issues, problems, situation of the country is good, it's very helpful for you to get into the Mahakusala Chittas without the assistance of anybody else. Physical and mental wellness, great food and atmosphere. And because of having performed comparable deeds before, yes, that's a big part. Can you remember in the Mahamangala Sutta, Buddha says, how do you call that? Pubbecha kata punyata. One of the auspicious factors is that having done good karmas in the previous lives, that helps us. Because this life is not one life, right? You didn't start it in this life. This is a samsara. So all the sansaric habitual things you may have done, they still continue. So for someone who already had done the similar comparable Mahakusala Chittas in the previous lives, it will be very easy for him to operate within himself without being prompted by other people. Okay? That's a benefit. Prompting, inducement, prompting occurs because of wise companion. Let's say if there are wise kalyana mittas, then they can help you if you are not self-motivated. I would say this is kind of a self-motivation. So you have the self-motivation in the unprompted stage, but if you are not self-motivated, then you have to be motivated by other people, right? Other people have to motivate you. Unless you don't have bad friends, and if you have good friends, right? Now we will get into Mahavipaka Chittas, and it's the same. I don't want to explain again, and only Mahavipaka part is changed. So we'll take a look at what they are. Okay? These 8 chittas are the result of the previously mentioned 8 Mahakusala Chittas, so they are the results of the previously mentioned Mahakusala Chittas, we can distinguish these 8 from rootless Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas, which go under Akusala, considering the way that these Mahavipaka Chittas are rooted or established in Kusala roots. So, Dhamma friends, now in the previous discussion, we talked about how many Vipaka Chittas we talked about? 7 Akusala Vipaka Chittas, Ahetuka Akusala Vipaka Chittas, and 8 Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chittas. So there are 15. There are 15 Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas. So what is the difference between those Vipaka Chittas and these Mahavipaka Chittas? We will be discussing that in a future slide. But for the moment, you need to understand there's a big difference on the surface level. That is, those Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas, those 15, they are rootless. They are not associated with any roots. But these Vipaka Chittas, which you call Mahavipaka Chittas, they are Sahetukas. They always associate Alobha, Adosa, Amo. Or Alobha, Adosa. I mean, you know that issue. When it is not associated with Panya, it will become Alobha, Adosa. Right? But in short, the main difference between Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas and Sahetuka, now in here, Mahavipaka Chittas is Mahavipaka Chittas are rooted. They have roots. They associate roots. But Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas, they are rootless. They don't associate roots. Let's take a look at the next slide. Difference between Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas and Sahetuka Vipaka Chittas called Mahavipaka, which we just saw these ones. Bhavanga Chitta and Chuti Chitta are not two separate chittas, but rather the various types of the same Patisandhi Chitta. Here the Patisandhi Chitta can be a Mahavipaka Chitta or Ahetuka Kusala or Akusala Vipaka Chitta. Therefore, Mahavipaka Chitta and Ahetuka Vipaka Chittas perform the Patisandhi Chitta as well as Bhavanga Chitta and Chuti Chitta. Friends, I want to tell you this now. When we are born, the first chitta, I mean, we say our birth is not coming out of the mom's womb. Our birth is the conception, right? So the moment when we are conceived, the first chitta that arises in us is Patisandhi Chitta. Okay? The ways and means how different people take Patisandhi Chitta is different. There are mainly 3 ways of how people take their Patisandhi Chitta. The first, Ahetuka Akusala Patisandhi Chitta. Now, this is what we talked about in the Ahetuka Chittas. Ahetuka Akusala Patisandhi Chitta, which means somebody is born with the Akusala Chitta, right? With the Akusala Chitta, which is rootless, right? Now, they are the beings who are what you call the beings in the 4 apayas. So the beings in the 4 apayas, they are born with a Patisandhi Chitta, which is rootless but Akusala. Okay, and the second Patisandhi Chitta is Patisandhi Chitta, which is Ahetuka Kusala Kamma. They are the beings who are humans who are born conceived with a bornly problem. I would say somebody is physically unable, disabled, some issues. They are bornly disabled, right? So they are the people who are called, who are born with a Patisandhi Chitta, but with a Kusala Chitta, with Ahetukas, I would say, Ahetuka Kusala Chitta. And the other type of beings are the beings who are conceived with a Patisandhi Chitta, with Patisandhi Kusala Chitta, with Kusala roots. I would say with Sahetukas. Sahetuka Patisandhi Kusala Chitta. So I would say Ahetuka Akusala Patisandhi Chitta, Ahetuka Kusala Patisandhi Chitta, Sahetuka Kusala Patisandhi Chitta. Now, it's in Abhidhamma, it says all the humans are born with Kusala ahetuka patisandhi chitta or kusala sahetuka patisandhi chitta. They are all born with a kusala. But the difference is between those kind of two human beings is that someone can be born with a ahetuka kusala chitta, someone can be born with a sahetuka kusala chitta. So the difference is the bornly issues, beings who are having issues by birth. That is what in Abhidhamma is trying to say. The issues that arise from, by birth could be mostly from the patisandhi, issues with the patisandhi chitta, ahetuka and sahetuka part. Now, why I talk about this is, when we were born, conceived, we have this patisandhi chitta. Once patisandhi chitta arises, then it will be transformed into bhavanga chitta, right? And the bhavanga chitta is what continues until we die. At the moment of death, we have another chitta called chitta chitta. So folks, you need to understand that two of the vipaka chittas from ahetukas and sahetuka vipaka chittas affect our patisandhi. So it could be, let's say, there is a being in the apaya who was conceived with a, definitely they are conceived with akusala patisandhi chitta. They have that particular chitta from the ahetuka vipaka chittas. And in regard to humans, they are born from a kusala chitta. It could be either from a mahavipaka chitta, which has sahetuka with roots, alobha samma, or ahetuka kusala vipaka chitta, which is also a part of ahetuka chittas. I don't know whether it makes sense to you. Now, for example, I would say the first two beings who are born both in the apayas and the human world with some issues, they are born out of the ahetuka patisandhi chittas, especially kusala or akusala, because there are two types in the ahetuka vipaka chittas. But for those who are conceived, born without any issue, they are born as a part of mahavipaka chittas, which has sahetukas. That is what it says in here. Bhavanga chitta and Jyoti chitta are not two separate chittas, but rather the various types of the same, patisandhi chitta. Because patisandhi chitta is what transform into Bhavanga chitta and Jyoti chitta, and that person dies, and again patisandhi chitta and Bhavanga chitta. Here the patisandhi chitta can be a mahavipaka chitta or ahetuka akusala, kusala or akusala vipaka chitta, as I told you. The examples are the beings who are born in the apayas, beings who are born in the human world, but with some issues. Therefore, mahavipaka chitta and ahetuka vipaka chittas perform patisandhi chitta as well as bhavanga chitta and jyoti chitta. At the point when we see a pleasant or unpleasant object through our sense entryways, the chitta is vipaka. The specific kind of vipaka chittas are not mahavipaka. However, ahetuka kusala or ahetuka akusala vipaka chittas. Now, my friends, what does it mean? Now, let's say I can't see any of you. Let's say I'm looking at the camera. If I feel happy, that means it is a vipaka chitta, which is rootless. But if I'm unhappy, that is also a vipaka chitta, which is akusala. In Abhidhamma, it says, whenever you are you are making consciousness types through your senses. If you are happy or unhappy, that is a part of kusala or akusala, rootless kusala or akusala vipaka chittas. They don't have any kammas generated, because kammas will create after javanas, right, at the level of tadaramanas, so that intention is not a part of that. Let's say I'm looking at you through my eyes. If I feel happy, which means a rootless kusala vipaka. When I see any of the things that I'm seeing in front of you, if I'm unhappy, that means it's a rootless akusala vipaka. So now any consciousness types you are making in your normal life could be chakku viññāna, sota viññāna, gana viññāna, jivha viññāna, kaya viññāna, mano viññāna. If you feel that you are happy or unhappy, they are part of either rootless akusala vipaka viññāna chitta, or either or kusala ahetuka or rootless kusala vipaka consciousness, chitta. That's very interesting, actually. So the thing here is that it is not occurred as a part of Maha Vipaka Chittas. Maha Vipaka Chittas are only pertain to results of the Maha Kusala Chittas or Patisandhi part. It does not involve in our normal sensory process. What relates to our normal sensory process is only the rootless kusala or rootless akusala. That's what it says in here. At the point when we see a pleasant or unpleasant object through our sense entryways, the chitta is vipaka. This could be the akusala, ahetuka akusala or ahetuka kusala vipaka. The specific kind of vipaka chittas are not mahavipaka. However, ahetuka kusala or ahetuka kusala vipaka chittas. In addition, the chittas in the chitta viti from bhavanga to santirana chitta are likewise ahetuka vipaka chittas. The main vipaka chitta that can be either an ahetuka or mahavipaka is tadarammana chitta, on the grounds that it shows up after javana. Now, what does it mean? It says all the chittas from bhavanga chitta, because patisandhi chitta transform into bhavanga, right? And all the chittas you make when you have bhavanga or when you don't have bhavanga, which means you are allowing yourself to focus on other outside things, then it will go into santirana and tadarammana. So all the chittas which arise from bhavanga to santirana, they are ahetuka vipaka chittas, either kusala or akusala. Let's take a look at our slide that we discussed this in a previous discussion. Let me see it. I can show you. Okay. These are the slides that I use for the previous ahetuka chitta discussion. In here, can you see chitta viti? Now, the chittas from 1 to 7, they all are arisen as a consequence of ahetuka vipaka, either ahetuka kusala vipaka or ahetuka kusala vipaka. Atita bhavanga, bhavanga chalana, bhavanga upachcheda, panchadvara vajjana, pancha viññāna, sampaticcana, santirana. So Vottapana is a stage where you are trying to make it to the next stage, and Javana is where you are making karma. Tadarammana is a karmic chitta. That means it is a part of this life. But these 7, they are mostly they are 100% arisen as a consequence of the ahetuka kusala or ahetuka vipaka chittas. I'll share the slides again. Okay. And here comes Mahakiriya chittas. It's the same too, as I told you at the beginning. The only difference is Mahakiriya. That means the same chittas, but the adding part is Mahakiriya. Why has the Arahant? Now we know that these chittas are only experienced by Arahants. These Mahakiriya chittas, functional chittas. The name itself says it's functional. Why has the Arahant Mahakiriya chittas instead of Mahakusala chittas? Although enlightened beings like us make Mahakusala chittas when we carry out good karma, Arahants don't make the equivalent. So Arahants don't make Mahakusala chittas. They only make Mahakiriya chittas, because they make Mahakiriya chittas since they don't make karmas which can bring vipaka. So they are not making vipakas. That's why they only experience Mahakiriya chittas compared to Mahakusala chittas and Mahavipaka chittas. They are not part of their chittas. Arhants also have Mahakiriya chittas which are jnana vipayutta. The fundamental purpose behind this is Arhants don't have panya when they don't teach or discuss about Dhamma. Interesting. Now you can see Arhants also have sasankarika part and also jnana vipayutta part. How come Arhants? That's interesting, right? How come Arhants lose their panya? That's interesting. It says in Abhidhamma, it says Arhants have panya only when they are teaching Dhamma, only when they are discussing Dhamma. except teaching Dhamma, except discussing Dhamma, at other times they are not having panya, especially when they are having chittas, right? That is why they also have this jnana vipayutta factor. So panya is something that is always established when they want to teach Dhamma or discuss Dhamma. Arahants also have asobhana chittas. They are panchadvara vajjana chitta, 5 sense do adverting consciousness. We talked the other week. The manodvara vajjana chitta, mind do adverting consciousness, and the hasituppada chitta, smile producing consciousness of the Arahant. All these 3 asobhana chittas are hetuka kiriya chittas. Dhamma friends, why they have asobhana chittas? Because they are still living in the Kāmā world, right? So when they pass away and they are reaching the second portion of Nibbana, second aspect of Nibbana, which we call Anupadisesa Nirvana Dhatu. So when somebody attains Nibbana, we call it Sopadisesa Nibbana Dhatu, Nibbana with 5 aggregates. And when they pass away, we say it is the complete Nibbana. So until they pass away, they're carrying this physical body, they are living in a Kāmā world, even though they are not interacting with Kāmā world, so that they still have those 3 functional thoughts, which we call Panchadvara Vajjana, Manodvara Vajjana, and Hasituppada. Okay. Conclusion. What are my conclusions? 12 are connected with 2, because now we're going to talk about all the Kāmā chittas with Kāma Sobhaṇa, beautiful consciousness chittas today. 12 are connected with 2 hetus. Now you can remember 12 chittas are connected with 2 hetus. What are these 12? We know there are alobha, adosa cetasikas that are involved with in the Kāma Sobhaṇa chittas. Let's take a look at how it works. Back. Okay, Mahakusala chittas. So it says only 12 chittas are alobha dosa. That means there are 2 jnana vipayuttas here. That means 4 jnana vipayuttas. That means only alobha dosa. Base chittas are in Mahakusala chittas. Oh. And again there are 4 alobha dosa only chittas, 8 in the Mahapaka. And the Kriya chittas, there are another 4 vipayutta chittas, which means chittas which associate only alobha and adosa. So there are 12 in that way. There are 12 chittas in the Kāma Sobhaṇa which are connected with 2 hetus, alobha and adosa. And the opposite is 12 are connected with 3 roots, jnana sampayutta, right? There are 12 jnana sampayutta chittas. You want to see that? Let me show you. Yeah. 2 jnana sampayuttas here, 2 jnana sampayuttas, means 4 jnana sampayuttas out of Mahakusala chittas. And in the Mahavipaka chittas, 2 jnana sampayuttas here, 4 jnana sampayuttas out of these 8 in the Mahavipaka chittas. So there are 8 now. Go to Kiriya chittas. There are 2 jnana sampayuttas here, 2 jnana sampayuttas. So there are 12, 4 by. Okay. 23 vipaka chittas, 15 ahetuka vipaka chittas. We know that 15 ahetuka vipaka chittas. And 8 sahetuka vipaka chittas. That means in here there are 8 mahavipaka chittas. So 8 plus 15, 23 vipaka chittas in the Kāmā world. And when you look at kusala and akusala chittas, it's 20, 12 akusala chittas and 8 mahakusala chittas here. 11 kiriya chittas, 3 ahetuka kiriya chittas in the ahetuka chittas, and then 8 mahakiriya chittas in this Kāmā chittas. Okay, friends, that's presentation about discussion about Kāmā chittas. Now I want you to take a look at the slides once again. Let me show you. Second. Okay, let's take a look at it. So you can see the slides in full screen. Beautiful consciousness, Kāmā chittas. Okay, that's the end. And Dhamma friends, don't worry, because I'm going to attach all the slides in JPEG modes on my blog, Patisota blog. You could go into Patisota blog this way. Please check it out time to time. Let me show you. Because I have already posted the previous slides onto the blog. Okay, continuous look. Okay, we can go to the blog. Okay, presentation slides, rootless consciousness. This was done last week, and you can see all the slides in JPEG mode. See all them here. And if you can go back further down, you can see the previous talk, unwholesome consciousness 12, which has all the slides that I made. So I'm gonna make the same post with all the slides that I used today, so you can see them from the blog patisota.blogspot.com, or you can check out the YouTube video that I'm doing this, which has been watched by all of you, and I'm gonna put a comment under description. So next Wednesday, I'm gonna be talking about chetasikas, mental factors. And thank you so much, and I hope you learn what the beautiful consciousness types are. And now it's your choice to make either akusala chittas or kusala chittas, or ahetuka chittas are natural, automated. But please make a choice to make only mahakusala chittas. Okay. Have a good day. Take care.